Well, we continue reporting on our recent investigation into issues at Community Action Duluth. Tonight, following up on a press release that was sent by a board of directors on Friday.
2 weeks ago, we started hearing from vendors of the suddenly canceled Lincoln Park Farmers Market saying they hadn't been paid by CAD in months. Days later, we obtained paperwork showing CAD has more than $120,000 in unpaid bills dating back to the summer. Then last Thursday, CAD employees held a news conference alleging financial mismanagement, hostile work conditions, and sexual harassment, all at the hands of Executive Director Classy Dudley. Those are issues the employees say they raised previously to board members, but the board failed to address it.
Yeah, Northern News Now's Kyrie Johnson has been leading the investigation on this story. She joins us now live in the studio tonight with the latest. Kyrie.
Yeah, Dan and Laura, this is the first time we've collectively heard from the CAD Board of Directors. Here's a list of those board members who've announced that they've authorized a confidential and impartial inquiry after weeks of trying to find a third-party consultant. And they say they've now received allegations regarding interpersonal conflicts between employees and the executive director, Classy Dudley, following a union staff press conference in which employees alleged sexual harassment, among other issues.
It's absolutely critical for employees of a nonprofit organization to report up the ladder.
And that's what CAD workers have done in the last week, including going public with concerns. CAD employee Cece Netzer said during the press conference on Thursday,
the majority of workers are dealing with intimidation and hostility on a daily basis by the executive director. These issues and concerns regarding a hostile and toxic work environment.
Friday, the Community Action Duluth Board announced a confidential and impartial inquiry via a consultant. Staff members involved are being contacted individually to provide information about their experiences. The investigator will be working to determine what claims are true. The CAD Board has declined to comment, leaving former board member Wendy Derwachter, who resigned on November 14th, as the only closely involved person to offer a statement regarding the investigation, telling Northern News Now over the weekend that she didn't initially see the email from CAD employees because it went to a full personal email inbox. But legal expert Richard Painter says that doesn't excuse failure to respond to concerns.
But a board of directors of a nonprofit organization has an obligation to move quickly.
Derwachter says she suggested a course of action to the board leadership in October, but was not satisfied with the response, so she resigned. She ended by saying, quote, "I do not stand with Classy in her position on this." In 2022, the Minnesota Department of Human Services Office of Economic Opportunity reviewed similar allegations against CAD leadership and found no misconduct by the executive director. However, staff letters that were sent to the board last February show lingering concern. One CAD worker writing, "We are concerned about the retention of our frontline staff. One of our longest serving frontline employees recently left Community Action Duluth due to the work environment," citing the executive director as the primary reason for leaving. Painter says the consultant's work is now crucial.
Nonprofit fraud is a problem in this state in particular and around the country. We need to take nonprofit governance seriously.
We've been unable to get Executive Director Dudley on the phone despite numerous attempts to contact her. Live in studio, Kyrie Johnson, Northern News Now.